Down from the heavens bearing the gift, it's Jometheus, and welcome back to the long-anticipated return of the drawing to Gorl episode thing. You may notice that there's a little bit more done. I did the shirt, did the torso area, and that is just because I made actually a whole separate episode, but something that will never see the light of day, and this time, the reason is not because of, make sure I'm doing it on the right layer, and it's recording, okay, this time is not because of the recording getting lost. This is actually, this time because I was in a pretty bad mood during that episode. I had some personal kind of stuff going on with school and just got very frustrated, and I ended up scribbling out a bunch, just big black, like, angry, like, I don't know, I didn't want to put that out there. It's just not a fun time for everybody. So, yeah, that's the reason why it's you won't see the progress of that being made. Maybe if there's demand for it, I don't think there's really going to be. It's not too big of a deal, but if there's ever demand for it, I'd say I'd put out maybe a video of just the making of that, like just the recording of that, not the actual me part of it, because I don't want to put that out there. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember what I left off on last time, especially considering I did start talking a little bit about some other stuff for that other episode. I think I was doing something in the vein of talking about how my favorite episodes of cartoons have always been the musical ones. Like the ones with songs like Band Geeks, and I'm sorry if this is redundant, I don't remember what I had said before in that other episode, but Band Geeks from SpongeBob, where they play the Bubble Bowl. That was my favorite episode of SpongeBob. And say down there like that, and let's say same thing for that, and yeah, that kind of works. My hand's a little big. I'll come back to it. What was I gonna say? But yeah, like, Band Geeks was my favorite episode of SpongeBob, the Evil Con Carne with singing about too much pie, all the Fairly Odd Parents episodes, like the holiday specials where they had music to them, just basically any episode with music. I think that's because of, my dad had us really into music growing up. Like, he'd always play music in the car, and then also my grandma, my two biggest musical influences, I think. As far as people I grew up with, yeah, so then, what was I gonna say? I've been kind of doing a theme of talking about let me see, because even if I check my notes, I think these are still the same notes from that other episode too. Favorite episode of cartoons, always musical episodes, transition to talking about music. Oh! So Yeah, my first band I ever really got into was junior high. I got was My Chemical Romance, because, you know, it was 2007, 2008, and I was a teenager of sorts, just getting into that age range where that was really big. Something doesn't look quite right here. Can't you see? Is it too small? Is it too big? Is it like that maybe? Yeah, I think just because of the angle, because these ones are overlapping, this one seems like kind of too out of place maybe. What was I gonna say? But yeah, my first favorite band, My Chemical Romance, and I remember we, for the talent show for 7th grade, it was 7th grade, I remember, because 8th grade was, we did a different thing, but we were like, let's start like a band kind of thing and just do a cover of a My Chemical Romance song, and meanwhile, none of us had ever played an instrument before. Like, I think if anything, one of my friends had her guitar from before, but besides that, I don't think anybody had ever played instruments. And then so we decided, oh yeah, we'll just get instruments and just do it. And so then I remember I actually didn't start out with guitar. I got a really shitty bass. And I think my friend still has it. Ended up with it later on. But I got this really, like, just a basic starter kit bass, because I never played an instrument before. And meanwhile, we're doing all this, like, 2 weeks before the actual talent show, like, with the auditions and whatnot. So, I remember we just kind of went for it. Like, I got the bass, and then my friend, well, I think I got a bass and a guitar, and then I don't remember the timeline on it specifically, but my friend ended up wanting to swap, so he went on the bass, and then I got a guitar. My first guitar was an Ibanez the bass was an Ibanez GL, and the guitar was an Ibanez, I don't remember the name on it, but I'll maybe post a picture of it. I mean, I know I usually say that and then I end up not doing anything, but yeah, maybe I'll post a picture on it or something. But anywho, yeah. So we were doing that, and I don't know how the hell we got through the audition and everything, but we made the show. I think just because it was junior high, so maybe the standards were not quite as high as maybe they'd be for something else like that. None of us had really ever done anything. We didn't have a drummer. Like, we had somebody who said they were going to do it, and then they never showed up, and I think the chances are pretty good that they didn't ever actually play drums. They just wanted to act like it. So I was on guitar, and my other two friends were on bass and rhythm guitar. So I was the lead guitar. I did a solo that was a big old piece of shit. And my other friend was just on vocals, and so, because I mean, when we had just started, none of us were able to sing and play at the same time. It was ridiculous. So we did that show, and it's horrendous, and that's on YouTube. So if I remember to, I'm definitely gonna Well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if I want people seeing that. It's on YouTube though. The whole thing, and it's just the worst. It's absolute, just cringiest, awful. Like, oh boy. Now that was my foray into music, and most of us actually kind of continued. I think there's only like one of us out of that group that didn't actually continue with rock music or music in general. Oh shit! I think this is wearing down. Maybe is that starting to scratch? Let's see. Is that? Maybe it's the nub. No, it seems fine. Me and my friend, I forget if I mentioned names or not. It doesn't really matter. Me and my friend Idam, we continued on with that. He was on the bass and I was on lead, and we continued on, and as our music tastes changed, both we got into Nirvana. I remember this was partially influenced by him getting into it that I got into it, but it was also partially influenced because my grandma loved Nirvana. It was her favorite. It was Kurt Cobain. And her favorite performance from them was the Unplugged in New York fully acoustic set, and it was one of mine too. It's a very, very nice thing. Kind of contrasts a lot of their work. Is very high energy, aggressive, but that is just like a kind of a different kind of thing for them. What color am I gonna make this? I could make it like gray, but I'll give it like a pop of color. Matter of fact, let me do this. I like to do this with my characters, even though it doesn't really make sense. That things would be like this. Oh, this is not working. Why is it not working? Oh, there we go. I like to take same color as their eye and make something about them in that same color. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I remember. So, me and my friend, we played a lot of Nirvana covers. We even influenced our thing was just that we were a Nirvana cover band, and we even went down to Mexico once. His family's from Mexico, so we went down to Mexico once and played a children's birthday party. We're doing nothing but Nirvana covers, which is great. This is great. This is a great idea. Oh, excellent. And I was the only person there who couldn't speak a lick of Spanish. And, man, good times are had by all. But yeah, that's how we started out, and I remember I wrote it, and I probably still have that somewhere, like in my mom's house or something, but just this big old paper with just like every Nirvana song or lyric and iteration, trying to find a good name for a Nirvana cover band, and one that we finally settled on was Sliver. Because we were doing Nirvana covers, and Sliver's a Nirvana song, a little bit of a lesser known one, it's off Incesticide, which was not their hugest album, not their most biggest album. It's still a very good album. So yeah, we were Sliver, and that kind of evolved over time. Eventually, when we were starting to do other kind of covers, we brought in different band members. Like the first one we brought back was the same singer that we had for the junior high talent show, Tony. We brought him back as the singer no, we didn't. What the fuck am I talking about? Well, we experimented with a few different things. I think one of the ideas was Tony being the singer, because he's a singer. He's actually, right now, he's a professional opera singer. He just got signed with the, I think it's the Kentucky Opera. He's phenomenal. But he was not that role in our band. He was a drummer, because he's also very good with that kind of thing, with tempo and whatnot. And I cannot, for the life of me, play the drums. That's one of the instruments that, as we've all tried each other's different instruments, that's just one thing that I cannot do, is the drums. I can't coordinate both my hands and my feet at the same time. Like, I can do pretty alright with one or the other, but not both. Yeah, he was our drummer. And then we brought on this guy that I had never met before prior to it. And I think it was in preparation for, we wanted to do the talent show again. And this was in high school. This is after I had moved away and moved back. We kind of rekindled everything that we were doing from before. But that's how I met, he's still a good friend to this day, Sam. And I remember I was opposed to the idea of bringing him in at first, just because the rest of the band was people that I already knew. Like Tony and Idam were both my friends that I'd known since, like, I don't know, I want to say as far back as, well, let's see, Idam I met in like 2nd grade. Tony I met in 5th grade. So I'd known them for a long time already. So I kind of had that, I was comfortable with them. Because I'm not very good with social situations. I was not super comfortable with Sam because I'd never met him before, which ended up not being a big issue anyway. It's because he's also kind of timid, kind of shy, kind of thing going on. And it's very cool guy. Once I had been hanging out with him for a while. And so we ended up playing, I remember we always used to go to practice at my friend Tony's house. And we ended up writing our own songs, a few of them. Another important thing to note was Idam and Tony were both in choir. So they knew their way around singing. I never done so. But, I have a decent ear, which is how I picked up a lot of my guitar. I never had any formal guitar training, but I had a good ear, so I could pick up on the way things kind of sounded and play from there. But anyway, what was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. But we were ended up doing a song for a talent show that was an original song. Would have been 2012. So I guess I would have been in junior year. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I don't know. My memory's terrible. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but my memory's horrible. So, times and whatnot, I'll get to just like go away from me. I don't know a lot of things that I've. This is my this is my life too. I don't remember a lot specific details for things, but I remember I was definitely playing before we actually started the band. I think what it was is when I came back from moving in sophomore year, because I came back about halfway through sophomore year. I played at the choir show, Anything Goes, with Idam again. We played Heart-Shaped Box, continuing our trend for Nirvana covers, and the choir teacher, even though I've never been in a choir before, never, Idam had been in choir since junior high, but I had gone into drama, and I didn't continue with that until for later on. So I did the guitar class, which was, I mean, I don't want to say it's a waste of my time. I learned some stuff, but it was a lot of stuff I already knew. The choir teacher saw that performance, and she asked me, "How would you like to be in the top choir for the school?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so yeah, I kind of fell into a position in the school's top choir, even though never ever done anything like that. I don't know how much I like green for that. I guess it kind of makes sense. Well, now I'm gonna, it's like a baby shit green. Let me go for something more kind of like a forest green. It's kind of where it's at, I guess. Here, let me pick up where that was, and then let's go a little bit later. Okay. Yeah, that was the story of how I got into choir. No real, like, I didn't really even audition for it. My audition technically was considered the heart-shaped box. She liked it, and she was a cool lady, the teacher for choir. She liked my singing, I guess, and she put me in, which is kind of, I think it's the way that a lot of cool careers get started, like cool people. And it's stupid calling myself cool. I'm not saying that for me. I'm just saying, like, a lot of careers, I think part of it is getting lucky and like running into the right people, and not necessarily anything to do with your own personal skill. Because like I said, I was doing a lot of stuff wrong with singing too. Like because I never formally sang. I didn't know how to breathe properly. I didn't know any of that kind of thing, and I just kind of got thrown into Gorl as the top choir, and I felt really out of place because I didn't know shit. And I felt like I wasn't that great a singer to begin with. And then after that, that would have been, 2012, my junior year. Senior. I'm getting myself confused. Yeah, so sophomore into junior year, I guess that all happened pretty fast. And then junior year, that was the one that we did the talent show, so that's when Sliver would have started up. Although I could have sworn that we did part of it over the summer. I don't know, but in any case, there was another talent show, and we, of course, did music again. You know what I think it was? I think it was that the talent show that we ended up doing... No, I have no idea. I can't figure it out. But we did an original song of mine. I remember we did, I think it was French Ghost for that. It could have been Norse. My memory's fucking terrible. Anyway, we, I really am not liking the way this is looking. What is it? What the fuck? What am I saying? There we go. Gotta add some more shape to define it better. No, it still doesn't look like. Boy. Maybe is it because it's right here that looks wrong? One of the two. There was some kind of show that we were preparing for, and that's how I met Sam. Blah blah blah. I remember we used to practice at Tony's house all the time. I remember that summer we did a lot of stuff, and into the next year, in senior year, did a lot of stuff with Sliver. Grew kind of into a big thing. I think I always be a little bit regretful, upset that Sliver didn't pan out, because I really thought it was going to, just because maybe individually, maybe we were not the best thing in the world, but I mean, together, just because of that chemistry, I think, of like us all being friends and the way that all that happened, I think that we really could have had something, and we sounded really good. We played a lot of local shows. Even got invited out once. This is pretty cool. Arizona's. I live in New York now. It's a pretty small state, but Arizona's like huge. So we got invited from this band, Communist Kate. They came out from California, and they were playing at this place that we played a few times. What was the name of it? It was somebody's place. It is something called like Jerry's Place or something like that. We played a lot of our shows there. They loved having us down there. And they came down. They did their show. They liked did covers of Red Hot Chili Peppers, because we expanded our repertoire quite a bit once we started like playing our own original songs, and then just kind of. Yeah. Just kind of started, the fuck, what was I saying? It was going off from there, but I never finished my original thoughts. They liked the way we played, so they invited us down to another show that they were doing, because they were on tour from California, and they invited us to a show all the way out, and I don't even remember the name of the place, but it was past Phoenix, or I think maybe it was in Phoenix, and we just drove all the way down there, and it ended up being some kind of rinky-dink gig in the backyard, but I loved every second of all of that. It was just kind of unique experience. You never get something like that. Let's go like that. There we go. And then it was sort of like a faux pocket on top, because girls' pants don't have pockets. Let's say here. Let's see. Yeah, that was the next thing that I thought that was gonna be that was gonna be it. That was gonna be my life. I remember I got this book about music industry for dummies. I read that thing like front and back, and I was saying like, okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna make like T-shirts, and when we didn't end up making T-shirts because our band got popular enough, I was like, we're gonna start making T-shirts. We're gonna like make CDs. We're gonna buy like a CD printing machine, and we're gonna get like all this kind of thing. Like after reading the book, and I'm like, this is how we're gonna break it down. This is how we're gonna get blah blah blah, and then it never ended up really actually working out that way. Focusing on school, and they ended up going to college after. Sam was a year under us, so after we graduated, started becoming a little bit harder to organize things with all four of us together. And then eventually, because with college and everything, and then I was doing my own kind of like kicking around like a dick. I was an asshole. I got floating around that yeah, this just kind of fell apart, which I always regret. I feel like could have been a lot more than we were, because there was a lot of potential there. There's like a number of reasons through that, but yeah, c'est la vie, such is life. Can't do anything about it now. So I think that's musically a thing. And that kind of leads me to today, my current situation. I'm working on bolts. And I think I wanted to... I think maybe the outlines are too harsh around here, or something like that. It doesn't seem to blend well. Yeah, there we go. The cutoff seems very prominent, and I kind of don't want that so much. So let me... There we go. That way, it's kind of like the knot a little bit. Tuck it under the shirt. Yeah, I started working on bolts. It's going to be my big passion project. And now I'm also doing YouTube, which I used to be pretty active on social media, mostly just kind of Snapchat. I still have a lot of those saved, but I never like posted anything like I was on Twitter for a bit. Now I just figured out I'll try out YouTube. Seems like a good hub to post my stuff. I had tried to get into SVA, School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. They said I needed more observational work for my portfolio, and then I ended up doing that. Like, looked myself in the mirror, drew that down on, and they liked my portfolio, and then they ended up not being able to take me because something with my SAT scores or something. Like I couldn't find them, or I couldn't access them even from the College Board website. I don't know what happened with that, but that's another thing. Maybe eventually down the line I'll be able to do something with that, but for right now, that's where I'm at. And still doesn't look. I feel like that if that's on the side that's lit up, maybe that's what it is. If that's on the side that's lit up, then it's gonna be just a little bit lighter. Maybe not like that much, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, by Jove, I think he's got it. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Lost idea of where I was speaking wise. What was I talking about? What should I say next? What should I talk about next? I could talk more about Sliver, I guess. I did more of the I did most of the, I should say, I did most of the songs. Like we had songs from, I don't know if Sam ever wrote a song for Sliver. Because I don't want to seem like an asshole, like I don't remember if he wrote it, but I don't think, if he did, we never performed it. Because I remember I wrote songs, I wrote the majority of the songs, Yam wrote some songs, Tony wrote YOLO. That's a bit of a novelty act there. The YOLO. That's a instant classic. But yeah, I wrote most of the songs. A lot of my journals from around that time are filled with weird kind of lyrics. Very experimental. Obviously, it was influenced a lot by Nirvana, so very like strange, non sequitur, nonsense, odd shit in there. Like there are some songs, like even with like, because Norse is very like, it actually has a lot of meaning to it. It was kind of like a snapshot of my life at the time. But it's still like the way that the lyrics are don't make any damn sense. The lyrics for that song, they'll provide a breakdown. I've done this in real life before. I don't know if I ever did it video wise. Definitely before my YouTube channel, if I ever did. But it's ripped up right out of the case. Soft bits all over the place. That was a very specific incident. That was when I had a miniature guitar case. Because my mom got me this little tiny display, like miniature guitar, to put up on my wall in my room. And it had a foam case that it came in, like an actual guitar case. And I remember her dogs got into my room once, and they ripped that thing to shreds. So it was that foam was ripped up right out of the case, and there were soft bits of it all over the floor, all over the place. And that was that. That was where that came from. And then, let's see, ripped up right out of the case, soft bits all over the place. I can't quite place where I've seen all this before, and it was because that kind of thing would happen a lot, where I would have something, and then my mom's dogs would push through the door and get in the room, so when I came home from school, there was something torn up or something like that. Can't quite place where I've seen all this before, just because it's happened a lot. And Bat and Baby Scent Box. That was very... that's a weird one to explain, but Bat is from, I had mentioned before in that other video, I used to play the Batman Arkham games, and Baby Scent is because my brother, because it was his Xbox, would take it over to friends' houses. Some of his friends had babies, so he would bring it back and it'd smell like baby powder. So Bat and Baby Scent. It's kind of weird sounding thing, but there is a reasoning behind it. Bat and Baby Scent Box. Time to replace the locks. That's because, again, that door coming open, always coming home to some kind of nonsense. Time to replace the locks. Lacy locks from the gray foam on the floor. Still pulling back to that same place. Just couldn't get over it. That mini guitar case, rest in peace, is gone. Just got eaten. From the gray foam on the floor. The coffee tin is full again. And I used to have this coffee tin that I would fill with change that I found, like walking places, because I didn't get like an allowance or anything, but I wanted to have like money to go out and get things, so I would keep I would keep change in there, and fill it up. A coffee tin is full again. It's time to purge and fill with new presidents. It's coins. It's presidents' coins. Time to empty it out and cash it in at like a Coinstar or something, and get like something. Like I remember I did a few times. I just would fill it up with coins, go down, get like a new CD from, I think nearest place was like Best Buy or something, and yeah. I don't know if I like that little. It seems like too tight. Let's say instead, let's go like that. Bring the loops out more. That way. Yeah, there we go. Kind of angle that one a little bit. And that way, I feel like it kind of works more. Bring the loops out, yeah. The coffee tin is full again. It's time to purge and fill with new presidents, new habitat. It's getting fat to make some room for new preferred residents. That was in reference to I had to move out of my mom's place, as they wanted to, like the landlords wanted to give it to the people. They're like, I don't know, I think it was family or something, but they wanted my mom to move out, like didn't let her renew the lease on it, so that they could give it to family. It's getting fat because it's getting empty as we're moving all our stuff out to let them move in. Yeah. And catch a train out to sea, Mary Jane a low key. This song, I think the whole chorus is kind of nonsense. It's just like the rest of the song. There's actual meaning behind it. The chorus is just nonsense. Catch a train out to sea. You don't catch a train out to sea. This ocean is kind of ridiculous. Just non sequitur nonsense. I keep saying non sequitur. It's not the way that. It's not that word. What that word means. I don't think that word means what you think it means. I still don't like that. I think I catch a train out to sea, imagine a low key. Think I ate too much bread, now I have a small head. That was a very famous line. Everybody knew that song with the bread. What's that song you play with the bread? It's to eat too much bread, you get a small head. This is just a nonsense, just something that came into my head. And there's no meaning behind it. It's just kind of something that I felt at the time that I should put down, and I did, and the rest is history. Catch a train out to sea, marriage in a low key. Think I ate too much bread, and now I have a small head. Simplistic figures are made, final payments delayed. Simplistic figures was because I just drew like doodles all the time. That one actually does have a little bit of a thing to it, not too much, but yeah. I drew little things all the time, like our mascot for the band, Davey. There's a little doodle that I did. It was just a nonsense, stupid little thing, and I remember there was a little bit of a controversy at school that they were like, "Can they wear these T-shirts? It looks like your mascot's like a penis." It's not the intention. It just was stupid looking, stick figure-esque kind of thing, with big doofy smile and lopsided eyes and a little belly, a belly on him. Yeah, and that was Davey. That was our little sliver mascot. Simplistic figures are made. We'll catch a train out to sea. Marriage in a low, in a low key. And then way back before all the crime, I used my feet all the time. That was before my parents got divorced and a lot of nonsense happened. I used my feet all the time. I used to take long walks. And then I continued doing that a little bit after, but not quite as much. I used to take long walks just to think and clear my head, and it was not super ideal in the Tucson heat, but that's what I did. I'd take long walks just down the riverbed. And I have a whole other song that I wrote about just that specifically, called Bridges. Because I'd walk from one bridge to the other down the length of the wash in Tucson. It's kind of hard to explain if you haven't lived in Tucson or don't know about that area, but yeah, it's I used to live right next to the Rillito River. Rillito, Rillito, and I used to walk down the length of several bridges. So yeah, there was just in reference to that, like I'd walk down to the mall or something before my parents got divorced and all the nonsense happened. Back before all the crime, I used my feet all the time, and the world can't save you, 'cause I don't know where it was just kind of, maybe it was just to sound cool, because I never had like bad thoughts or anything, at least not at that time. But that was all the time in the world can't save you. It was just kind of a edgy thing to say. It was just like, you know, or say you could be the president of the world, or you could be Jim Jack from the Klim Clack Center. And it doesn't matter, because either way you're gonna die. All the time in the world can't save you. Back before all the crime, I used my feet all the time, and the world can't save you. And I think I also brought that up just because of, worked with my thing. With the first one, I had this, it was more of a, like, artistic choice. I wanted to go, like, with the repeating the same line twice kind of thing. Or is it's like, oh, this is this, but it's in a different context. And I think I had a few things, and that was just the one that kind of stuck. Nothing really to it, just kind of either to sound cool or just because, I don't know, that was what was in my head at the time. Just popped up. Back before all the crime, I used my feet all the time, and the world can't save you. Another case on the wall, good luck, it should never fall, like a maple enslave you. That one sounds like it could be another thing about, a coffin, but it is a trick, because actually the meaning of that line, another case on the wall, because I had mentioned before the little fake case for the guitar still got some green in it. I don't want no green. Wow, I don't want green. I want green reflection in there. Wow. Another case on the wall, good luck, it should never fall like a maple enslave you. It was not a case on the wall, it was a guitar on the wall, but case worked there. It was my Explorer. I had a wall hanger for it that I got from, guitar class, because they had extra ones left over, and she just gave it to me. So I had a wall hanger for my Explorer at home, so I put that on the wall. And good luck, it should never fall, because it was right up above next to my my bed. It was like above my head, so if that thing ever fell, it would have hit me in the head, and maybe I would die. So yeah, that's why it's good luck that it should never fall.
Never fall. Nugget should never fall. Never fall. No, no, no. What is it? Oh god, it's stuck rotated now. Can I rotate it back? Or does that even matter? I don't know. Never fall like a maple enslave you. Can never fill, it seems to spill. Lincoln can drown with the rest of the presidents. And this is, I stopped actually doing that coin thing because, I don't know who it was. I'm not going to place blame or anything like that. But just, I would fill up my coin thing and it would just disappear. Like my money that I had in there, it just ended up gone. So I just stopped coin collecting because it's like I'm not getting anywhere. Like I haven't gotten anything new with it and for some months, so I just gave up on that. Although it was a cool way to earn some extra money while it lasted. Maple enslave you. Going back a little bit. Going almost an hour now. All the time in the work, it saves you. Maple enslave can never fill. It seems to spill. Lincoln can drown with the rest of the presidents. Lincoln on the nickel. No, he's not on the nickel. It's a penny. He's on a penny. He can drown with the rest of the presidents. As a penny is not like the least important form of the change, and it's just as useful as the other ones. Just because I'm not getting anywhere with it. Drown with the rest of the presidents. It's all akin, and it's growing thin to taking strands and crushing the evidence. I don't know what taking strands counts as, but crushing the evidence, just it's what it sounded cool at the time. But crushing the evidence about whoever was coming and taking my coins, they're getting rid of whatever, so I couldn't ever figure out who it was. And then the same chorus again. And then the same chorus again, and yeah, those are the lyrics, and that's why I did them like that. And honestly, I feel like let me see, I feel like I made some pretty decent progress on this today. So I might wrap things up soon here, although I'm very close to being finished. So if I don't finish this episode, I'm definitely finishing next episode. But maybe I'll do one more of these. I'm gonna see how I feel about it. I might just end up feeling like finishing it right now, and yeah, but I'll see. I will see. Definitely, you can tell my favorite place to go is in the face, because it's the most expressive part. I've actually been watching some videos on how to be more expressive in the facial expressions and whatnot, and actually, like, something that I wasn't expecting is the shape of the eyes can actually influence a character. Like, she seems very kind, very trustworthy, because she's got big, bright eyes, and they're wide open, and they got, I could probably, here, let me see. Let me go a little bit smaller with this. Down to a 3 again. There we go. That's probably why it hasn't been looking as fine point as the rest of my stuff, because it's not as fine point. It's more it's a larger size. But yeah, the shape of the eyes. If you going for less trustworthy character, you're gonna see a more more narrow eyes, which it's not always the case. Like, sometimes looks can be deceiving, and you can do that intentionally to throw people off. But usually, typically, if you want somebody to look at a character and know automatically, it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be a real jerk. If he has narrow eyes, which makes sense, or small, or even like if it's just like big but also like half lidded, then people see that and they think, well, usually big with half lidded is going to be more like, oh, they're lovable, but they're also very laid back or lazy or something like that, and that's half lidded. But they got narrow, shifty eyes, and usually that's going to be something that you take as they're trustworthy or they're not. Let's see. And then I know I had a thing that I drew underneath here, but I'm just going to go with the gut a little bit on there. Because I think that was... Well, I could... Yeah, because it's not going to be, nobody's going to be able to notice if it is too small. So let me just trim back a little bit. Let's go a little big with it. Let's go a little bit ridiculous with it. A little bit more exaggerated than what you would normally get. Let's get a larger scale wrench in there. Something that really, she's working with like big machinery. Working like with, I don't know. Maybe she's working on, like, big parts to like a rocket or something. I don't know. There you go. Something kind of big, kind of large. I feel like I might as well finish this up with this, so let's see. Yeah, I wrote most of this songs for Sliver, influenced by Nirvana and Kurt Cobain's crazy lyrics in his journals and whatnot. Trying to be mostly obscure, but also that they have deep meaning if you look into it enough, if you care to. So yeah, that was what I was going for with that. And yeah, I feel like I mostly succeeded with that. Because people wonder what those songs are about, and people had come up to me at different points during the time that Sliver was a thing and asked me what the hell that meant. And I did actually have some responses for it, because I did actually put some thought into it. Yeah. You see. What the fuck? There we go. Okay. Maybe that's too dark. That seems to be about where I was at before. But that's kind of, yeah, there we go. So, uh-oh. Battery on the phone's going low. Well, that's what's going to happen when I have it not plugged in for a long time. I'm almost done anyway. I think fittingly I've kind of ran out of things to talk about, like, for real this time. Like, I'll have to come up with something else. Like, maybe it'll have to do with the drawing topic next time, and talk about that more in depth, because I already have an idea of what I might want to do it on for my next drawing video. Spoiler alert, it's another character, or a set of characters maybe. But yeah, that's I think you can say, let's make it shinier. Let's make that sign shinier just a bit. And you want some variation in the, because if you have like just all two-tone or one-tone on it, it's not going to look as good as if you have like variation, like a gradient kind of. Slip in behind there. Let's go all the way up here with it. There we go, nice and shiny wrench. Let's go a little bit in here too. Just bring the shape of this thing out more. Okay. need some darkness to... There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm really, like, I'm in the zone. I feel like I definitely want to try and finish this right now today, if possible. There we go. Now we got more defined fingers going on. There we go. And that's probably why I wasn't able to get too much of that's not the detail I wanted for Oilia. Oilia. Oh, there we go. That's it. See, this is what I was wanting. This is what I was talking about. It's like a, yeah, it's in the creases. You start getting more of the, and then that's why these weren't looking as defined, because I had too big of a brush size. I'm just a big doofus, and I didn't realize it. You know, I think I wanted to. Wow. Let's see. I'll give her a little bit of a... As she's working with stuff, is going to be on her a little bit. A little bit on the tip of her nose. And up here. Maybe... If I revisit this character, maybe I'll revisit this character later on. I can say, like, maybe she'll have like rings around her eyes, and then she'll have goggles on, so it's like it's got her face dirty, the rest of her face, but not there. And of course, she's got it all over her hands. Because I didn't draw gloves on her. I was thinking of drawing gloves on her. I think it was even in the sketch, actually. Yeah, I was definitely thinking about having gloves on, but then I kind of ended up not doing it. So that's okay though. A little bit of oil splotches. And do on a little bit of sweater too. Because she's working a lot of stuff. Getting down the shoot. That might be a little bit too bright for it to show up. I don't know. Is that showing up? Or is that too light? Is that showing up? I still can't tell. Anyway, maybe I'll go a little bit darker just so I can guarantee that that shows up a little bit. Let's say she got it on here. Maybe she was working with this first and took it off. So I wouldn't get as dirty, or just to cover it, just because it's hot in there. And this probably, all our clothes at home are like this too. But she's always working on something. And let's say she got it on her hands. So there's a little bit of a handprint on there from, there we go, from when she did it before. When he touched her pants. He had a hand on her pants. Let's see, go like that, and then separate it out, because realistically, if your hands they go like that, so there's an angle to it. It's not going to be like completely solid. It's more going to have a kind of thing that's kind of separated. So let's go more like that. This is not looking too great, but I'll fix it. I'll fix it a little bit. It's maybe too defined, so let's break through it a little bit, because you want to be able to tell, okay, that's like a handprint on there, but it's not like 100% like, you know what I'm saying. I don't know, that's okay, I guess. And then we have to be consistent about it and say she's got it on her hands. Yeah, oh, that's green again. Ugh, wish there was just a palette of just gray to make it easier, because I've done that several times through the course of my doodling career. I got stuff from other colors on things I'm not intended to. Messing it up just a bit. Get it a little bit, maybe even on her boots a little bit. Pool up like gunk, like right there a little bit, and this is dripping down over the side. Yeah, sure, why not? And I think that's dark enough. Yeah, it's dark enough to actually show up now. So I have a little bit of it on her. Be sort of careful about it. Just, you don't want it to look like she's got excessive arm hair. Well, maybe she's not concerned with that. I don't know. It's definitely, you want it to be more that's like oil. It's like oil or whatnot. And she's, yeah. And, yeah, I think that looks good. Yeah, highlight her eyebrows just around the edges just a little bit, just because you can't really see them too much. Just to bring them out just a little bit more. You know, it's just straight black, but just do that. And there we go. That looks good to me. Looks good to me. Just do that, call it a day, and give her a little bit of a splotch for the background. As let's say that, and I got a little bit of a way that I usually do this. You bring down the opacity just a bit, just so that it's, yeah, it's easier to do that. Then you make the brush size bigger. That. Just give her a shadow. You start a little darker, and then, oh no, that's going over, so let me not do that. Let me add another layer and put that underneath. No, not merge. I want to move it. Ugh, okay, so move it. There we go. Okay, and give her a shadow. Yeah, darken like that, and then off out to the back. Turn it that way. Get a little bit lighter as you get further back. Get a little less defined as you go further back. And I'll do the same thing that I did when I did the Gia, because the Gia thing is something that I just kind of worked out in a second. But I did that like in one night, and very minimalist kind of thing. Just gonna, yeah, her color seems to be blue, so get this menu out of the way. Alright, the color seems to be blue, so let's say blue. Kinda. There we go. And we'll say that's it. And I know that the image in the background is a little bit big. But, yeah, I'm gonna post the actual picture as a little ending thing. But, yeah, this has been Joe Draws a Girl. And, yeah, thanks for joining me on this whole process, doing all this. So, it's a lot of fun. Oh, one last thing. It's important so that people know that you work. You gotta add your Jim Scramcock at the bottom corner. So, let me do that. Let's see. Let's call the corner like right. Gotta be underneath, so like right here. Put your Jim Scrancock in there so people know that it was you. Yeah, it was me, Joe Hisk. And I've been thinking of going a little bit shorter and just doing HIX, so I might start doing that soon, but I'll see about it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. But yeah, thanks for joining me on the Joiny. This is the finished product right here. I'll put a link to it or something. I'll post it on my Joe Matthews, the full thing, and yeah, thanks for joining me. And, yeah, see you in the next one.